LeBron James is what you look at as, when you try to compare Michael Jordan to one of those players, you need a guy that's going to take over a game. No question, LeBron James is that type of player. He's not Michael Jordan. Nobody's Michael Jordan. Just like when you compare Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan, LeBron is the closest thing to Michael Jordan because of what he does in the playoffs. Kobe Bryant, career average in the playoffs is 24 points. LeBron James, career points is about 31, 32.
Wait a minute, Earl. Hold on, Earl. Hold on. Wait a minute. Earl, he already started. Now he already got me started.
Detroit. I want to see this.
So you mean to tell me that you think when you watch LeBron and you watch Kobe, actually when you take away from it, you actually believe that LeBron is more closer to MJ than Kobe is based off points per game average in the playoffs? Because here's the thing you got to keep in mind. Throughout the course of his career, when he won his first 3 championships, Kobe was playing alongside one of the best big men of all time in Shaq. That was Shaq's team. So that's part of the reason why I think his points per game average in the playoffs is down. And, once Shaq left, we saw Kobe win 2 finals MVPs. To that you say what, Earl? What you think about that?
Hold on 1 second. When Shaq left, when they made the playoffs the next year, did they do anything in the playoffs? Did they do anything in the playoffs?
I got to look it up. I really don't remember, but
they did not do anything in the playoffs. Kobe Bryant needed players around him. He needed Lamar. He needed all those players around him to do the things that he needed to do in the playoffs. Shaquille O'Neal, when he went to Miami, did he win a title? He did. He won it with Dwayne Wade. When Kobe Bryant – now, I'm not saying Kobe Bryant wasn't one of the greatest players of all time. On my list, He's probably ranked 17 or 16. That's where I would rank him.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
You say it again. You say it again, Earl. I want to make sure everybody hears
it. Kobe Bryant on my list is ranked in the top 20. I would say either 16 or 17. I would take a lot of players over.
This recorded and
I would take a lot of players over him. I take a lot of players.
Hey, this is definitely me. Like, if somebody need to record it.
Kobe right now. Kobe rolling over in his grave right now. But first of all, R.I.P. to the Black Mama because
absolutely.
Man, R.I.P. to Kobe.
Absolutely.
Like seriously, but did you just tell me? You just because it was ESPN. They put out a list of all-time greats. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see this. They put out a list of all-time greats a few years ago, and they had Kobe ranked at 12th. And I thought that was disrespectful.
No, it's not.
Let me explain something to you. First of all, Kobe Bryant is the greatest Laker of all time. Go ask Magic. Magic already said.
Magic just said that. That's not true. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the greatest Laker of all time. That's all I'm going to say. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I love Kareem. I love Kareem.
That's right.
But the fact that you think that Kobe Bryant is ranked 16th or 17th is crazy to me, Earl. We're talking about a 5-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star. Kobe, listen, I actually told Clarence this on the show the other day, and I've said it multiple times. I think the media and a lot of fans, they try to pretend as if LeBron James is in the GOAT conversation, and they put him in that GOAT conversation. I actually think that Kobe is closer to MJ than LeBron even is to Kobe. Kobe is better than LeBron. He always has been, and he always will be. Until LeBron James is 3-6 in NBA Finals.
LeBron has almost every single playoff record when it comes to points, assists, rebounds, everything. Everything. LeBron James just dominated. Now you're going to say, well, he's been in 8 straight finals. He also plays in the Eastern Conference, no question. Kobe played in the West. But also, Kobe played with Shaquille O'Neal. He also played with Pau Gasol, one of the best big men in the league when he was on the Lakers. Remember, when they traded him from the Grizzlies, and they tried to get Chris Paul, and the league completely shut that down. Because if they got Chris Paul, that would have been 6 or 7 more championships. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say.
Here's the thing. Another thing I want to tell you in favor of Kobe over LeBron. You know Kobe won a championship in 2010 with the Lakers. Y'all remember they beat KG, Paul Pierce, and the Celtics. They won 7 games. Yeah. That Lakers team wasn't anywhere close to LeBron's Miami Heat team, Earl. Kobe won with less. Once Shaq left L.A., Kobe had Pau Gasol, which Pau Gasol is a legitimate big man. I like Pau Gasol. But Pau Gasol, he's not a lock to get to the Hall of Fame?
Oh, he's a lock.
Hold on, wait a minute. Is he a lock? Hold on. Is he a lock like Dwayne Wade?
He is a lock. No, he's not a lock.
I'm comparing co-stars now. Okay. Is he a lock like Dwayne Wade? Is Pau Gasol the talent that Kyrie Irving is? Is Pau Gasol the lock to get to the Hall of Fame? Pau
Gasol at the dominant part of his game was better than Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving he's a coach killer. He is a coach killer.
He's a coach killer, but you can't deny his talent.
You gotta go to this next topic, man. This is hilarious.
But when I look at hold on, Clarence, real quick. When I look at the Lakers team and I look at that Miami Heat team that was stacked, Earl, you're not gonna sit up here and be able to tell me that LeBron did more with less. No, Kobe did more with less. That Lakers team was terrible. Besides Kobe and Pau Gasol carrying them on their backs to the championship and three straight finals, or not, it was 2 finals, because they went in 2008 and they beat the Magic. Then they went back and beat the Celtics. Kobe, I looked on the stat sheet, right? In that series against the Celtics and against the Celtics, when they beat the Celtics, I think Pau and Kobe averaged like over 20 points per game. The next best player and the next scorer on that team was Ron Artest. Guess how many points? I think it might have been Lamar Odom, Ron Artest, one of them. Guess how many points he averaged? Like 9 points per game. Mm-hmm. LeBron teams in Miami was stacked. He had Chris Bosh, a first option in Toronto. He had Dwayne Wade, the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time on his team. And he also had the nerve, the audacity to add Ray Allen.
Trey, let me ask you this question. LeBron James, his 3rd year in the NBA, he took a terrible Cleveland Cavaliers team to the finals against who? The San Antonio Spurs, okay? Correct. Remember that team? Who was the 2nd best player on the team? Larry Hughes? Are you kidding me? That team was terrible, absolutely terrible. That young LeBron James that everybody knew him as the king because he came
22 years old.
Yeah, a 22-year-old kid took that Cavalier team, that garbage Cavalier team, all the way to the finals. Did Kobe do that? Come on, man. He had Shaquille O'Neal. He had Shaq. He had Shaq, the most dominant player in the league, the Diesel. Diesel.
I'm not saying we know. Well, see, that's the thing. Because of Shaq's greatness, what we do is we take away from Kobe's greatness. It's not fair because I don't think Shaq would have won his championships with the Lakers if Kobe wasn't a part of that team. Kobe was putting up numbers when Shaq had got fouled out. I think it was against the Indiana Pacers. When Shaq fouled out, Kobe carried that team. I think we don't give Kobe enough credit for what he had contributed to those Laker teams and that first three-peat. We don't give him enough credit for it. Like
Kobe was a special player. You're absolutely right. There are players that when I put him in my top 20 is special. It's a special player. Now I go up and down. I saw some of these. I didn't get to see some of these great players. That's why I don't put Kobe in the top 10, because when you try to compare and contrast some of the great players that maybe we haven't got an opportunity to see live, you can't really compare and contrast. How about Oscar Robertson? Oscar Robertson was one of the greatest players of all time. If you never got to see him or never heard of him, you wouldn't even know who he was. So there are players that were great in those times. So you can't take Bill Russell. Come on, Bill Russell's one of the best big men of all time. But me and you have never seen him play. But the guy won like 13 titles, okay? Yeah. Dominance, you have to also look at the years that they played, the decades that they played. When you look at LeBron James, could LeBron James play in the time of Michael Jordan? I don't know, just as much as I could say that about Kobe Bryant. Because in those times, they were throwing people around. They were throwing them into the audience. If you try to go up, and you saw that in Last Dance. Michael Jordan said it best. Michael Jordan tried to go up. Shaquille O'Neal slammed him on the ground. Him on the ground. A young Shaquille O'Neal slammed him on the ground. And he said, "Great foul, boy." That's what he said. Great foul, boy, because I'm going to go up. And what happened after that? He came back down and jammed it right in his face. Michael Jordan was a different beast. Those players, Larry Bird was a different beast. Magic Johnson was a different beast. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a different beast. These guys were some of the greats of all time. Now, I'm not saying Kobe wasn't, but to compare Kobe to those players, you have to look at numbers, and numbers don't lie. When you look at Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, I'm sorry, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Okay, I'm gonna let you. Clarence, I want you to chime in on this, and then I'm gonna get back at Earl. You chime in on this and give your opinion on this. What you think?
Look, And Earl and Trey, y'all had some key points. And I always felt like LeBron James was always in that GOAT conversation. He was always in the GOAT conversation with Michael Jordan and the other greats, man. Because what he performed and what he did in the playoffs, that is some historic. I remember he got swept from the Warriors. He averaged a triple-double. And that's impressive. And, like, it was to the point they were trying to give him the finals MVP, but his team got swept. Like, for me, I just think LeBron James is like a top 2 or 3 player in the league, man. But I just want to ask you this. I want to ask you this, Errol. Do you have Allen Iverson ranked in your top 20?
Yes, I do. Allen Iverson. What made Allen Iverson? I hate when people try to compare James Harden to Allen Iverson because there is no comparison to James Harden and Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson brought he brought a different style of crossover to the league. Now you look at Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving completely transitioned the crossover to the league. You look at the ball handling skills. You look at what he did with that 76ers team. Took them to the finals. That 76ers team, when the second best player on the team was Derek Coleman, okay? Derek Coleman. Eric Snow, okay? Eric Snow, okay? James Harden played with some of the greats. Kevin Durant, give me a break. Russell Westbrook, give me a break. And when I say give me a break,
Chris Paul.
those guys couldn't win unless they played with superstars. Kevin Durant didn't win until he went over there to Golden State and played with 3 other superstars. Give me a break, okay? When you look at superstardom and you look at what Michael Jordan did, say whatever you want. And a lot of people look at Scottie Pippen. As great as Scottie Pippen was defensively, as a small forward, and what he did defensively against all the guards in the league, Scottie Pippen, some people don't even put in the top 50 of all time. He was only in the top 50 of all time on my list because of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan made Scottie Pippen great. Michael Jordan made everybody great because the guy was an assassin. He would go on the court and completely dominate.
I agree with that. But let me get back to this. I agree with that. And I also agree with you about the James Harden not being comparable to Allen Iverson. I don't know if you got a chance to see that show, Earl.
Yes.
I see you. We talked about that. Okay, yeah. We talked about that on a few weeks ago because the difference between Harden and AI is AI was a killer on the court. He had the killer instinct, something that James Harden doesn't have. James Harden is a great scorer. Don't get me wrong. He's an outstanding scorer, one of the greatest scorers of all time. But Allen Iverson was on another level because he had that killer instinct. And just imagine if Allen Iverson was 6'3" or 6'4" or, like 6'6". Allen Iverson probably would be the GOAT. Honestly, he probably would be the GOAT.
I think your favorite player said that too, Trey. Kobe Bryant said, we got to. I want
to get back. I want to get back to this Kobe LeBron comparison real quick, Clarence. I'm not gonna let Earl off the hook.
Earl, you got him.
So, you know what I mean? Do you know how many times LeBron has made the all defensive team in his career, Earl?
Well, again, when you look at LeBron James, he plays multiple positions, so he's defending multiple positions. He'll defend the guard position. He'll defend the small forward position, the power forward position. We've even seen him defend the center position. So again, Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest defensive players of all time, but also Kobe defended only 2 positions. LeBron defended 5 positions, and when LeBron was at the top of his game defensively, LeBron should have won 3 or 4 Defensive Players of the Year. But he never got the opportunity because the league has completely shut him down. Don't tell me LeBron James shouldn't have won 8 straight MVPs because he absolutely should. When Steph Curry won back-to-back MVPs, LeBron should have won one of them. LeBron should have won one of them. 29, 8, and 9.
I understand where you're coming from that perspective, but what I'm saying is Kobe's made the all-defensive team 12 times in his career. 12 times.
Absolutely.
LeBron James made it 5.
5, yep.
Also, Kobe Bryant is a better perimeter shooter than LeBron James could ever dream of being.
No question.
Okay. Also, Kobe Bryant is a better closer than LeBron James could ever dream of being.
No question.
So, and when I compare greats, Earl, what I'm looking for in that final 3 minutes, are you a closer? Can I give you the ball and say, take me to the promised land? I need a key bucket. When I look at the all-time greats, Earl, I have never felt like LeBron should be in a conversation with Kobe and MJ, players who are closers.